Good to have you with us again.
Thank you. It's good to be back again.
The last time you were in our city, you played Radio City Music Hall, which is a beautiful hall, but it only holds about 6,500 people, and a lot of people were disappointed. So it's nice that you were able to get back, and you've sold out all of the halls, the Coliseum out at Nassau, the Meadowlands Arena over in New Jersey. But it's just one stop on a 30-city tour, and you're selling out every place you go now, 30, 40,000 people at a crack.
Yeah, that's right. There's always a danger when you don't supply the demand, you know. And we thought that we would play Radio City Music Hall and have an intimate show before we play the arenas, which are less intimate. But in fact, you know, that's very difficult to do because there are people outside paying $100 for tickets, $150 for tickets. So what we decided we had to do was just make those arenas much more intimate than even the small clubs. And I hope we've succeeded.
I read that you mentioned after an appearance in Detroit that you had a particular affinity in the United States for the industrial towns, that you enjoyed playing in places like Detroit, the industrial factory type. Well, why is that? What's the
Well, it is a good question. I haven't been asked that, and it's true of this group. I find that in the cities that were hardest hit by the recession, it's as if the spirit of the people is very strong, and this spirit is a spirit in concert, that when they let go, they really let go. And that's what U2 is all about, letting go. Rock and roll should be a release, great release. And I enjoy playing, you know, cities that are driving, moving. New York City is one of those cities, obviously, for U2.
I alluded to the fact that your music, Bono, is a little different. It's contemporary, it's hard driving, it's musically as good as anything around. But lyrically, the message is a little different. You do rock and roll that has to do with politics, and rock and roll that has to do with spirituality and religion. And it's not bubblegum and drugs and sex and some of the traditional...
I mean, I like fast cars as well, yeah. And girls, but you're right. I mean, I just like to write about the things I see, the things I hear. It seems that rock and roll performers, there's a lot of deaf, dumb, and blind rock and roll performers, and I don't mean that in a physical sense.
No.
I just mean they travel through the United States, they don't see the United States. They turn on the radio, they don't hear what's on the radio. They turn on the television, they don't see what's on the television. I write about everything I see. If that happens to be political, if it happens to be spiritual, or if it happens to be about a fast car and a beautiful girl, I'll write about it. There's no rules.
You're an Irish band, and politics is very, very much a part of everything that happens in your country.
Sadly, that's true.
The ongoing difficulty there. Does that impact your work? It must impact your life, because you guys still live there. You make your homes there. You grew up there. Does it impact your work? Does it shade your work? Does it influence your work?
It's turned me off politics. It's turned me off politicians. Because when you see, you know, all the carry-on about, you know, the flag, you know, green, white, and orange, people fighting over the green bits, and other people fighting about the orange bits. And the bit that interests me is the white bit, the bit in the middle of the flag. And it just makes me feel that, and I find this wherever we go, I find that I belong to a generation that is sick and tired of politicians and sick and tired of politics per se. You know, rock and roll music, I think it unites people. Even for an hour and a half, it does more than those politicians can do. Brings together all nationalities and all creeds and colors.
Is there a solution to the Catholic-Protestant problem that you can put your finger on? I don't mean a platitude that say, yeah, we should all get... Is there a way to do it? Is there a way to make people come together?
Well, I'll tell you what isn't the way. The way of the bomb and the gun. It will never be the way. It will never solve any problems. It will never solve any problems in South America. It will never solve any problems in Northern Ireland. It will never solve anything. You know, violence only breeds violence. And I think the first step is people to recognize that.
How have you guys managed to avoid all of the scandal sheets? You've lived your lives the same way today as you lived 4 or 5 years ago when you're getting this thing off the ground. You're not in the newspapers for being busted for drugs or paternity suits or, you know, rioting or what. How do you hold it together? The influences that you operate under when you can fill up a 50,000-seat arena any place in the world you go, there are powerful influences that work to destroy those kinds of values.
Well, I think it gets down to what has brought you to rock and roll. Some people come to rock and roll for the circus that surrounds rock and roll. You know, the trapeze artists, all the periphery, Not interested for me. My ambition is not necessarily to be number one in the United States or any country. My ambition is not necessarily to sell out 50,000 seat arenas. My ambition is to make a music that speaks to me firstly, to the group, and then to other people. And that contact is what we're after. And we feel like we're only just beginning. Like, I feel like I'm just beginning. I'm, 24 now. The group is 23, 24. And our goal is not it's not the sort of goal that can be corrupted, because it's a musical one. It's not a financial one. I mean, I'm lucky. I've got money now. A lot of people back home in my country don't have money. But that's not primarily why I got interested in rock and roll.